I feel like I grew up knowing my parents love me, but I also haven't grown up to, I guess, understand to what extent they love me. And I feel like it's kind of put me in such a weird position because, in a sense, I believe that they love me because there's acts of service that they show to me. There's written things that I've seen, some diary entries that they've wrote, and prayers that they give to me and my siblings. But there's a lot that I've seen, but in real sense, I just feel like growing up without words of affirmation and just having gifts, even this comes with like relatives as well, but like growing up with just words of affirmation, without words of affirmation, and not having someone vocally tell you in a sense of like adoration and just to be showered with love, being told you're beautiful or I love you, this and this and this, like all those words that I guess give you that security that I am loved. And just having to see love in other aspects, it puts you in such a weird position because I feel like it kind of puts me in a very odd situation with friendship, without friendship, in love, like romantic relationships. I just feel like it puts me in a very weird position where I'm like, does this person really like me? And I feel like I kind of chase the words of affirmation, and I chase quality time. Like there's some security. I feel like it put me in a position where there's like security that I have towards knowing that I am loved, but also insecurity in the sense where it's like, am I imagining, or do I don't feel like I know or knew the capacity to which my parents love me. Because you could see it in sacrifices, you could see it in maybe the way they treat you day to day. But it's like, how much would you actually love me if I can't hear it? And if I can't hear it, I don't know. I'm just blank. At that point, when people are talking about like parental trauma, mommy and daddy issues, I don't even know where to place myself because I have grown up with very good parents. However, at the same time, I also feel like I haven't grown up with like super loving parents to the sense where I know I have that reassurance that I'm loved and to the capacity of which I'm loved. So I just end up being like, okay, like when they do things, let's say that hurt me, I'm just put in a position where like, I know maybe they don't mean it to that extent, but at the same time, I don't have words to reflect on, to be like, this is how they mean, you know? I feel like words give you a clarity. Sometimes, obviously, words can capture what is in the heart, but they also give you a clarity of what someone feels about you, or of how someone feels about you. I believe that's the correct grammar. And without words, you're just put in a position where you don't know, am I actually loved or not? And then it puts me, I guess, I end up being avoidant, where I don't chase it. Like it's not from a point, there is some insecurity, but it's not from a point of deep insecurity where I'm like, I don't have this at all, like I'm lacking. But I also feel that I don't have that confidence of where I am secure. Like, I don't know how to say this. I feel like I can withdraw myself easily because I'm not being put in a position where I dwell on the fact that they love me. Because there's a time recently where my dad was like complimenting me and he was telling me about how much he likes me, and telling me about how, like, just words of affirmation of how I'm beautiful, and where I'm going and stuff like that. And that really made me like get to see, okay, this is how he sees me. Because sometimes people can tell you're pretty, like when you dress nice, like they'll tell me those things, but then at the same time, I'm not one of those girls who grew up with her dad or her mom waking up every day and be like, oh my god, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Like, they have not been those kind of parents, and it's not really a fault of them, but I do feel like as a child, acts of service, gift giving, quality time, I would say it's maybe a 3. But like, if you don't have words of affirmation, if you don't have like physical touch, if you're not hugging as often, it just puts you in a position where you can't feel it. It's in the air, but you can't touch it, and like it's not, how do I say, it's not in your mind, it's not something you can taste, it's not palatable, and it just puts me, or puts a child anyways, in a position where you're stuck, like, am I actually loved? And I think it also ends up reflecting badly, like in relationships, where I feel like I chase that words of affirmation, and also it kind of, in a sense, would help me withdraw sooner than I could have had I been more insecure in my love, like in my attachment style. But I end up withdrawing so soon, or asking for like words of affirmation. Am I loved? Am I cared for? Like, what do you feel about me? And it makes me feel embarrassed and icky. Like, do I really have to ask that? But at the same time, in my head, if you don't tell me, I don't know anything. I don't know what you are trying to say. Like, if you don't tell me, I don't know what you feel. And I think also that kind of reflects in terms of conflicts. I better argue with someone and be wrong, and we rectify it, than having to just keep things quiet and just feel something in the air. Anyways, I'm going off a tangent right now, but I don't know. I don't even know if I guess maybe it's going to be called disorganized. I have no idea. But it's like, I'm in a point of security enough to know that I'm loved, but insecure enough to not know the capacity of which I'm loved. And I think that it just makes me feel really awful. Because then in friendships, if someone doesn't say, I also don't presume. If in relationships, if someone doesn't say, I don't presume. Like, it comes to, like, that's kind of, what am I trying to say? The reflection of the love I've received when I was younger, it just ends up popping, and like the image of it ends up showing up in every single facet of my life where I have to deal with people, like social facets, and I just end up having a very interesting relationship with people, because I don't know to which extent I am loved. And I mean, maybe that's now an assignment for me to like actually push myself to be a person who says what I feel, and to give my friends and my family compliments. I think I do very well with my sister, my older sister. So I think I feel confident about that. Like, I feel like she knows that I love her, because I do tell her and I do compliment her. And we do have like proper communications on, like, this is how I feel about you. So with her, I don't feel very vague, but I feel like with most other people in my life, I just feel very vague. Like, what's going on? How much do you actually like me? And I don't like the insecurity that it gives me. Even if the security where I know that I'm loved and I can see it, I guess it has allowed me, growing up like that has allowed me to see it more. without having to hear it, but I also feel like in a sense my heart aches for hearing that I'm actually loved, instead of just trying to calculate it on my own, or trying to grasp for things and maybe misinterpret something. And I also do feel like, adding on to all that I've said, this adds on to like the notion of limerence, and I guess my experience with limerence, because I end up ideating more of what someone does, or I end up downplaying more of what someone does, and sometimes you have to go back and like sit and be like, okay, wait, this person was actually sweet, because you kind of have to now reflect more on their actions. But then you also can overthink or like over fantasize what someone is doing, and they're actually not doing that much. To them it's a very basic and plain thing, but to you it's something so amazing, and it's really not that. Anyways, those are my views on love. This is a very long recording. Bye.